Okay, everybody, welcome to the latest episode of All Too Real 2. My name is Macallan II, and with me, as always, is...
His Matthew Lord Legends Haas.
Lord Legends Haas.
Yes.
Lord Legends, how are you today?
I'm doing fine, actually. That's actually a really cool name, Lord Legend. I like that.
Yes.
Or Lord Legends.
Lord Legends.
That sounds like a comic book character name, Lord Legends.
Mm-hmm.
Like maybe a villain, but more of like the business type, like Lex Luthor type, like not someone who has like powers, but just like more of the financial.
I was thinking like a medieval knight.
Yeah, like Lord Legends. Yeah, like well, it could be like one of like the anti-Shiny Knight, from the DC comics. So
yes.
like that could have been one of the guys that Shiny Knight was always facing up against because he believed like in equality and stuff like that. But Lord Legends was about like maintaining like the feudal system, very hardcore like or whatever. Lord Legends versus Shiny Knight. I'm gonna submit that to DC Comics. Like, hey,
you should write it.
Yeah, do you want to revitalize, the Shiny Knight and the seven? What was they called? The seven Soldiers of Victory. The seven.
Something like that.
Something like that. Because Stargirl's coming up again soon. So now, Shiny Knight and those characters are starting to get kind of, recirculated into the. I guess the
ethos.
I guess the consciousness, of comic book people.
So anyway,
so I didn't know who that. Yeah, anyway.
I didn't know who that was until that show. Anyway, so today on the show, speaking of comic books, we are covering the Legends of Tomorrow, Season 6, Episode 3, called The X Factor, as in EX Factor. This was directed by David Geddes. It's So, what were your initial thoughts of this episode here, Matt?
I loved it. I thought it was hilarious.
Yeah.
Like every episode they do is just. It's like I love this show because of how funny it is. Like it's like a comedy to me. I mean, but it's a superhero show.
Yeah. It's great. I mean, I don't get why a lot of people are down on this show sometimes about the comedy, but I think that's what makes it unique and makes it fun. I mean, you don't have to be so dark and serious all the time. You can be fun because comic books are not. That's the thing. People are like, "Oh, what's the genre? Comic books." No, comic books isn't a genre. That's a
right.
Or superhero. There are so many different things. It's like when people say, "What's the genre?" Animation, and I'm like, "Yeah, because animation is both, Toy Story and Akira. It's not the same. You know what I mean? It's like
exactly.
There's two different types of things.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and then you got comic book things. You got Legends and you got Arrow, and they're totally different. I mean, they're in the same universe, but one's really dark and one's really fun.
I know, like Oliver Queen, he's so serious all the time. He's gotta cross names off that list, and all that kind of stuff, and
then you got
there was some what's that?
And also like Batwoman's kind of the new darker type thing.
Yeah, like the serious. Yeah,
but it's fun too, actually. And in my opinion, if this is my little PSA right now, start watching Batwoman, people. Give it a chance. It is the best written besides this one.
Because
This one, it is actually the best written CW show out there besides Legends, in my opinion. So currently,
no,
so
because they gotta make everything social justice warrior now. It's always gotta be a woman, gay, or black, or preferably all three. Not allowed to have a straight white male character anymore. Or if he is, she's got to be in the background, because that's our place now. As straight white men, we're so oppressed. Sorry, I read comments like that all the time now.
Me too.
On Facebook groups that I'm part of. I'm like,
my favorite is when people are like, why do my comic books have to be so like about society and about like issues and stuff, like
right,
because they never were before. Yes, they have been since the fucking beginning, you dumb dolt. Anyways,
I know. I know. It's literally just. I mean, like Stan Lee, even said about how comic books have always been about that, and they'll continue to evolve. So there's never going to be a sort of like static, like we're going to use this as like the baseline, and then we're not going to go any further than that. Like, no, the reason why it started there is because that was what was going on at that time that it started.
I only want my comic books to be white men punchy and shooty at each other.
Right, and if if we do have
fly in the sky.
Yeah, and if we do have female characters that basically just wanted to be masturbation material,
I want them to wear scantily clad bikinis and capes, and I just want Superman to save them.
Yeah.
I don't want them to actually have a mind of their own, like maybe Lois on Superman and Lois currently. Anyway, so
that's the other thing about that, really quick. So like, the whole Superman thing, like I keep hearing this argument over and over and over again, which pisses me off, is that Superman's a bad character because he's too perfect, and he can't be killed, and then so he's like basically like a boring character. It's like, have you read any of the comic books at all about Superman?
And that's another public service announcement. Start watching Superman and Lois.
Yes, Superman and Lois. There you go. That's a great. It's like I heard someone talking about this like a year ago, and I'm like, I'm sitting there in the car with him and like some other, like one of my friends, and he's going on for like 10 minutes about like how, Superman's actually not a good character because he's like too perfect, and like he doesn't have any weaknesses, and like so like all these other characters are like more like human, and it's like, for one thing, okay, his name is Superman, so it's in the name to begin with that he is a super human.
But the thing is he's no more difficult to write than like the Hulk or Captain America or any other fucking character. It's just you got to be creative with it, and you got to not be boring like Zack Snyder. Anyways,
yeah. Well, that's the thing is that he like someone wrote something like that, so then like people pick this idea up because they want to sound intelligent. Like,
I mean, I understand the argument, but people are parodying it. Like they're just not coming up with their own. I mean, in theory, it is kind of boring to write for a character like him or Captain Marvel or somebody who's like all powerful, but there's more to those characters, and that's why it's easy to write for them. And that's what I mean. It's any superhero is you got to be creative in the way you write for them because they're not normal people, but you got to find the relatability in those characters that that make them more human.
Yeah.
Anyways, back to the Legends of Tomorrow.
Just so you're doing your voice.
Speaking of relatability. What happens in this episode here, Matt?
So we're going from the when Sarah released all those aliens into the time stream. So they've been it's been causing all these time aberrations to do with aliens. So in the last episode it was and San Bernardino, California, with the whole alien juice that was causing everyone to become ravenous for meat.
Alien juice, not alien Jews. Just making sure that was heard.
Alien Jews.
Okay, just making sure.
Because I'm not. I don't want to get Marjorie Taylor Greene in the ideas about revamping your anti, because she's already got the Jewish space lasers. All we need now is her to be talking about alien Jews in the Senate House floor. I don't want that. So so just keep her craziness at bay and try to deal with her eventually. But legally, don't. No. I know the right wing are snowflakes, and they consider anything a threat. So I know that's why they act so tough, because they're scared little children in the heart. Okay, anyway, fascism sucks. Anyway, so this was about this alien dude, in a big suit of armor, shows up, and he wants to challenge the leader of Earth. For the right to the throne or whatever of the planet, I guess. And
his name is, by the way, speaking of lords, it's Lord Noxacrillion.
That's right. That's what I was going to say at the beginning, but I forgot his name. So he's at a gas station when he's doing this too, and the one guy points at the magazine or something like that, and he it was DJ, what's his name? S'mores Money.
DJ S'more Money, yeah.
Yeah, DJ S'more Money. He's got a s'more thing for his hat or whatever. You get it? S'more Money. And that's why it's called the X Factor, because he's the Zari's.
Yeah, he's Zari's ex-boyfriend, and he's also the judge of The Throne, which is a which is a talent competition show, kind of like America's Got Talent or the X Factor or one of those type of things.
Yeah, that's why it's called the X. The TV the episode's called the X. Get it? X Factor. And so he goes up there and just kills the guy, stabs him. So then now they gotta go to before that happens to fix that from happening, and hilarity ensues. So there's some B plots going on. So Zari and John's relationship are start to get a little bit more serious, but they're not really putting a name on it. But they're they're spending a lot more time together, and they're kind of having a make-out sesh, if you will. Don't know why I couldn't just say session, but I gotta say sesh. Okay, and he's got a song playing in the background by the Buzzcocks. Great. I guess they're punk, but to me they're more than punk. Whatever. They're considered a punk rock band, one of the first ones in England, and the lyrics of their song are saying something like, "When you fall in love with someone you shouldn't have fallen in love with."
Yeah. And
Zari picks it up too. She's like, "Are you trying to tell me something?"
Yeah.
He's like, "Oh no, I've just got this playing." Like, "Oh yeah, no, you just specifically chose that song with those lyrics by mistake."
Like you do.
Like you do, which is interesting because John is very, very closed off. He's got a lot of walls. So his characters.
He does have a big house. It's got lots of. Oh no, that's not what you mean.
No, he's got a big. No, I mean emotional walls.
Oh.
But, yes, he's got a lot of walls in his house too. It's very, very nice house. Very, very nice house. Anyway, no, he wasn't playing that song. Because the Beatles aren't punk, man. Wait, it's not Beatles, is it? I don't know, whatever. I should know this because I know a lot about music, but I'm blanking right now.
Okay.
So they they go back in time to stop S'more Bunny from being stabbed in live television, and then they basically they trick the Lord whatever his name is
Noxacrillion.
There we go. They trick him into what it was, because at first it was like a huge fight broke out between him and the Legends, and And then they convinced him that no, the real what is it? The real challenge is it's a singing competition. That's how you decide, how you dethrone someone. You don't do physical violence on this planet. And he's like, your planet's really immature, but I guess this is what we'll do or whatever.
So he basically is entered into the throne contest. Yeah.
Because he just goes by the book. He's like, oh, okay, that's what you do on this planet. It's kind of immature, but all right. And he's got like this great robot voice too. He's like, your planet is really immature, like this, like, sort of metallic sound or whatever.
Yeah.
And then they decide to, Zari, or Zari 2.0, as they like to call her at times.
Yeah.
Still kind of rude, a little bit to her. It's like, she's still Zari. I mean, she's from a different timeline, but she's not.
That's what my
Zari.
That's what my family calls me.
Mike 2.0.
Yeah, because I'm the second.
Yeah. Well, that's different. Because you're not from a different timeline from your dad. At least I don't think so.
No, no, my dad and I are different people.
Well, yeah, I know that much. I mean, biologically, yes. But,
yes.
Unless there's some weird science shit going on that I don't know about. But,
yeah.
Weird Science. Good movie, by the way.
Yes. Good TV series, too, that was on for a while there. Yes.
It's right, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's right. I forgot about that. So what? So Zari, she basically, because she's really famous, she's got like a huge, like, social media empire.
Yeah.
And she
built
for herself. Like,
but her assistant starts to let her know that things are kind of slipping, and like her stuff isn't selling as much as it used to be because she's kind of disappeared from, the limelight because she's been off being a legend.
Right, being a legend, exactly.
Yes.
She kind of. I respect people like that. People who, they build something for themselves, and then, they got, want to try something else after they've gotten, they kind of reached their peak, in one thing. Like, you know what? I've made my $1 billion on social media and Instagram. I've got my line of nootropic powders to put in drinks. I'm gonna go now join a group of time travelers with my brother, with our magical totem that makes tornadoes.
Like we all do.
Like we all do.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, most of us have done that at some point in time.
Yes.
So she enters herself, or she gets entered into the contest to be this Lord Noxacrillian's opponent. We also find out, too, that her agent, or whoever she is, has been kind of messing with Zari's emotions by intentionally setting her up with people who like cheat on her, so that
it causes more drama.
Right.
Yeah.
So we find out that doesn't really have her best interests at heart at all. It's just about making more money, more Benjamins, if you will.
And it's all about the Benjamins, baby.
It's all about the Benjamins. And Zari does not find it out. We, as the audience, well, also John,
finds it out at one point because the assistant tries to kiss John.
Right. I think she's got magical powers too, because she just shows up out of nowhere.
Oh, I know.
I think something going on with her. I don't know what, but
unless there's some kind of thing that happens in 2045 where you can just appear like different places.
Ooh, yeah. I don't know about. Yeah, that's interesting.
Maybe Elon Musk came up with a new form of time of travel. That fucking dolt. I hate him too. But anyways, I'm just saying.
Well, for one thing, he fucking ruined cryptocurrency for the next foreseeable future, because now cryptocurrency is like dropped down crazy after he decided to start promoting Dogecoin, because I guess he thought that he was like, well, of course he thinks he's larger than life, so he thinks, oh, if I promote Dogecoin, crypto's going to go to the moon. That's what he even said. Go to the moon. Then what happened? I was watching the chart live as he said that, and then it just started dropping as soon as he mentioned Dogecoin on SNL. I'm like, yep. It's like I knew that was going to happen. And
then and he also destroyed the electric car, but that's another story.
Well, yeah, it's another story. Yeah. Anyway, we're not talking about that.
Yeah. So anyways, in the future, so as part of this competition, during this competition, at one point, Zari's talking to her mother, and she tells her mother during a visit that she doesn't think her relationship with John Constantine will last. And he overhears that and later walks out when they have an interview. They have like this interview on the show. And that's what happens there.
Yep.
And with that, do you want to take a break?
No. Oh yeah, sure.
Okay, we'll be right back, folks, with more about this episode.
What is Gen X? What is the silent generation? What do generations have in common? Hi, I'm Trish the Dish from the Gen X Voice podcast, and I invite you to listen to conversations I have with folks from different generations, backgrounds, beliefs, and experiences in an attempt to see what connects rather than divides us. Even though Gen X has been called slackers, Karens, or not mentioned at all in some cases, we are the bridge generation, so I feel compelled to do my part to destroy ageism by bringing all these voices together. And, as a bonus, each guest gets to answer some 80s questions at the end of each show. So download and listen to Gen X Voice today on Apple, Spotify, Amazon, or wherever you listen to podcasts. And let's see how much we have in common after all.
Hi, this is Catherine, host of a new fashion podcast, The Real Fashion School Dropout. Join me as I interview guests every week in the fashion and beauty space, and we gossip on all things fashion and beauty, and even get into some personal stories of their journey in the industry. You can find us on Apple, Spotify, pretty much wherever you get your podcast. Hope to see you there.
Hello, friends, foes, and neithers. Okay, anyways. If you watch the episode, you get that. So, that's how the host of The Throne would introduce the show.
Yep.
I'm gonna start saying that to people when I see them.
Cool.
I'll just be like
that.
Hey, what's up, friends, foes, and neithers? What's up, friends, foes, or neithers?
Yeah, you gotta say it like that.
Friends, foes, or neithers. Anyways, so what else is happening here in the X Factor?
Yeah, this was a pretty straightforward episode. I mean, pretty much all of it kind of revolved around this, the contest. John storms off during the interview, like you said, because he's still mad about what he overheard. Of course, that caused more drama, so then it's like, whatever. And
yeah, we do have on the ship that Mick Rory is upset with Sarah's disappearance, and he's also very upset with his daughter Lita's ignorance. But he ends up being consoled by our new recruits Spooner and Ava.
Yeah, that's right.
So, basically he's just kind of upset. I think they are setting up his departure from the show. So
yeah, because he's supposed to leave after this season, right?
Yeah, he's supposed to leave, but he's going to come back from time to time. He's just not going to be a series regular.
Right.
So, anyways, Constantine and Zari end up, they're having their little spat. Like he had gone off, the set during the interview and everything, and they basically kind of like break up, sort of thing. Mm-hmm. It turns out that during this thing, DJ S'more Money has got a little plan of his own to try to make it so Noxacrillion wins. He gives both Noxacrillion and Zari the same song that he wrote. And it's a female empowerment song.
I love this scene so much.
And then, so then Noxacrillion performs it first because he's first up on the competition. And while they're there, Zari realizes that her song's been stolen. But this is after John had already figured that out and was trying to tell her, but she wasn't listening to John.
Right.
So she goes on stage to perform after that, and she performs that song they were listening to earlier by the Buzzcocks.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and then John comes up on stage and joins her by playing guitar, and then one of the other some of the other contestants on the show join her on stage as their band. And this is after Noxacrillion performed that song, in his male voice, but it was a female empowerment song.
You got if it's on YouTube, you gotta check it out. It is.
Yeah. I'm assuming if you're listening to this, you've already seen it, but.
Right, but just man, I swear to God, like on a CW app, I would just rewind that part because it's a good song too, but it's just like watching the alien in that suit strut around as he's singing this song. It's just like I don't know, one of the funniest things I've seen lately.
It's funny. It's kind of like how like we were talking about the Masked Singer earlier, which this is kind of influenced by a little bit too. Yeah. When I've been watching that show, it's just so funny that you're watching this and somebody's performing I can't remember what song it was, but one of the contestants this season is dressed up like a piglet. And he was performing a Phil Collins song that was very deep and emotional. And I'm watching it and I'm almost I was really invested in it, and I was like, man, this is a good song. He's singing it really well, and I'm really kind of touched by my heart. And then my mind looks at the screen and I'm like, he's dressed up like a fucking pig.
Exactly.
I was like, I can't believe I'm being emotionally moved by a dude dressed up like a pig.
That's what I'm saying. We're living in really, really weird times. We really are. You could cry yourself to sleep in a guy dressed up as a piglet, and then at the same time you could have people dressed up as holy figures who you just absolutely despise and hate. It's just
man, this is moving. And it's like a couple weeks ago there was a on that show a guy dressed up like a Yeti who's been revealed recently. Not really spoiling it. Spoiler if you haven't known it, but it was Omarion. But he was singing Justin Bieber's song "Lonely," which I really like, and he was rollerblading around on the stage in this, and I was just amazed by the fact that he was rollerblading and he was really emotional with this song, and I was almost crying watching it, and I'm like, the dude's dressed up like a fucking Yeti. Yes,
How do they reveal? Do they wait, or is it someone has to guess who they are, and then?
The way that show works, for anybody that's interested, what they do is each week the person is revealed because they're the judges and the studio audience, if they have one, but during COVID they have it set up where it's certain fans at home are able to vote, and they vote on who their favorite performer is, and the person with the least amount of votes gets voted off each week. Mm-hmm. So then they do guess who it is. The judges will guess, and they get points themselves if currently if they guess it right. But they give a bunch of clues throughout it, so you can each week, so you can kind of help you guess who the person might be under the mask. And then and once they're voted off, they have to take off their mask and reveal who it is, and they play the they play the song "Who Are You?" Who. Yeah. So that's how that works. So each week they it's interesting. If you just look up some of the performances and reveals, you don't have to watch the whole show, and you can look them up on YouTube, and it's fun just to see that. Anyways, back to this show. So, this guy, is singing this kind of powerful song, but he's a fucking giant robot. It was actually a pretty good song.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then Zari performs her Buzzcocks song, and she ends up winning. So he, basically surrenders to her.
Right.
And things are better between Zari, they basically, what ends up happening is they Zari and Constantine are kind of back on the mends, and they basically admit the fact that they're dating. Also, during this whole episode, Sarah, on the planet that they were in, is wounded after the attack from Amelia Earhart in the previous episode. So they have these people pursuing them that are all Ava clones. I almost forgot about this whole thing.
Yeah, me too. I totally forgot about
it. Gary ends up eating all of their pursuers only to learn that they are Ava clones, like I said.
He freaked out so much when he found out.
Yeah, they and at the end, at the end of the episode, Noxacrillion comes onto the ship, and his suit opens up, and inside is this cute little Gizmo Yoda looking type alien inside, Yeah. And this little green thing, and he reveals himself to be this, he was piloting this suit the whole time, but Mick comes in and just steps on him.
I hated that part so much.
I loved it, actually. So
I didn't want him to die. It was like he just revealed himself.
I know, but I was just like, it makes sense. Mick had to do that.
Yeah, I don't know if he did it on purpose or not. I don't think he even saw the guy.
No, I think he did do it on purpose because he kind of mentioned something.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyways, but at the very end, after Sarah follows one of the clones back to its base, she ends up meeting a man who has been waiting a long time for her.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And that's how the episode ended.
Yeah, some dude. By the way, Gary has always had an unhealthy obsession with Ava for some reason.
Yeah.
Like he looks up to her, almost like he's got a crush on her, but not really. It's like a weird. Even too, didn't she reveal though too that like she had a weird dream about him once too? I
think so.
She said something like, "I've got Gary issues" or something like that. So he ate a clone of her, and then felt terrible once he found out. He's like, "Why did you taste so good?"
It was funny.
Yeah. I'm still. To be fair, I'm still not jazzed about Gary as an alien plot, but whatever.
It just kind of came out of nowhere, in my opinion. But
I don't like it. But still, that was funny.
Yeah. So, do you want to take another break here, Matt, and then we'll come back and talk about some trivia for this episode?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll be right back, folks.
It's the ninja from the Ask the Angry Ninja Show saying, come listen to the show. We got the ninja wife to give you your movie reviews. We got the conscript to give you the ninja news. And we got the battle to talk about your sports. And as always, it is the Ask the Angry Ninja Show. So Ask me a question, and we'll give you the ninja knowledge you need for your ninja life. Search for us anywhere you get your podcast from. Just search for the Ask the Angry Ninja Show and enjoy the show.
Friends, foes, and neithers, we are back. Anyways, or neithers. Neithers? Anyways, so, okay, here's some trivia for this episode, Matt. You ready for this?
Yes.
Okay, get ready. Here we go.
All right.
Okay. All right. Ava refers to the throne as La La Land. This is a reference to the musical film of the same name. Okay. Bayrod asks Noxacrillion if he gets a ride home with a space cabbie. Space cabbie is actually a character in the comics future stories. So it's kind of probably a little Easter egg there. Noxacrillion believing Earth is ruled by a singular king is common sci-fi joke about aliens asking to be taken to your leader. Typically the President of the United States in most movies. Nate mentions Thor Ragnarok, calls Lord Noxacrillion the Iron Giant. Ironically, the latter film itself made notable references to Superman. Yeah. And it's funny because people talked about this show being kind of the Thor Ragnarok of the CW universe.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. The singing competition, The Throne, is a parody of the TV series The Voice. The Golden Buzzer is an homage to America's Got Talent's own Golden Buzzer. The Wild Card pays homage to several of the singing show competitions, but more particular, The Masked Singer, where a celebrity keeps their identity a secret until it's time for them to unmask. Yeah. They do have wild cards on that show, too. They've come in lately. So, it's a new thing that they do, where they, the season's going on, and then all of a sudden a new contestant joins the show. Okay, Gary is revealed to go into an animalistic side if he fights all out in his true form. He meekly defends himself by saying, "You know what it's like when you haven't had bone marrow for a while," suggesting that his species need to eat live beings to keep themselves either in good health or properly satiated. The latter being more likely, as he said that an Ava clone tasted delicious. It is revealed that Dwayne Johnson is president in 2045.
That's right.
Nate wonders if John Cena is the chief of staff. Yeah, Cena will be in the upcoming movie The Suicide Squad, which is a DC property, which will be released in the summer. In addition, The Rock will star in Black Adam, another DC property, as the titular character in 2022. In The Young Rock, a television series based upon the life of professional wrestler and actor Dwayne Johnson, known more commonly as The Rock, did a frame storyline in season 1 where Johnson is running as a candidate in the fictional 2032 United States presidential election. The song playing at the beginning in John Constantine's house is Ever Fallen in Love by the Buzzcocks, foreshadowing the ending when Zari sings it on the throne. Okay, and that's all of the trivia here. Anything else here, Matt, about the episode? Any other thoughts?
No, I mean, I just, it's just a really good episode, and, like I said, I'm still not jazzed about Gary the alien, but, they'll make it work. They always do.
Yeah, it seems a little out of left field here on this, but
it does.
Yeah, it's kind of weird.
Zari, quote 2.0, which whatever, Zari from a different timeline. She's really finally grown on me because, it was a lot to get used to just because the personality is so much different.
Yeah.
Than
because you got the first one who's kind of a tomboy, and this one who's kind of like a at first kind of a Kim Kardashian clone or something,
Right, but now that she's been here for a season and some change, I've really gotten I mean, I do hope that the old Zari will eventually be able to find a way. I mean, they always find a way to do stuff all the time in these shows. I mean, you can bring people back to life in these shows. So,
and Gary's an alien.
What's that?
And Gary's an alien.
Gary's an alien, exactly. So they'll probably find a way at some point to get her to come back out of the totem permanently, and also to fix the problem. Because if you don't remember, the reason why she went into the totem in the first place is because Bayrard kept getting all these wounds because he wasn't supposed to live in that timeline.
Yeah.
I
really just, my main thing about the future of the show is I really just want Sarah back. I mean, I want Sarah back. With the rest of the crew. I like the dynamic of like Ava as the leader, but still I miss Sarah being there. It's just it's kind of annoying because like most of both this show and Supergirl, the main lead female character has been like on a different planet or something than the rest of the cast the whole season for different reasons, you know. So I mean, it's just kind of
exactly. It is kind of weird how they do that. Well, I noticed that too with like like even with like the shows and stuff like that. So like like Marvel versus DC, it seems like they copy off each other. So like for example, when Endgame came out in 2019, that was around the same year, I think the year before that was season 3 of Legends. And in season 3 of Legends, they have all these magical totems spread throughout the earth that if they're used at the same time, they can make reality of whatever you want it to be. I wonder what that sounds like. But the only difference is that in Legends, one person could only use one totem.
Yeah,
so
and it was set up. I mean, it was set up before in Marvel before it was hit on their show because Marvel had been setting that up for years since the.
No, I know.
Since the Tesseract. Yeah.
No, I understand that, but so then that came out around the same year that Infinity War came out, probably, and then now with DC with Legends of Tomorrow, obviously been about like protecting the timeline. Now the show Loki is pretty much about protecting like they have like the Time Lords and like you already have that in these like pretty much like the first.
Yeah, I mean. We'll have to see when Loki comes out, but it does look a lot similar to Legends of Tomorrow. But then again, Legends of Tomorrow is very similar to Doctor Who, so it's just
right. No, I know.
Yeah,
I know. Yeah,
it's interesting. We'll see where these all go.
But Loki looks really freaking good.
Yeah, we'll probably cover that in our future episodes of this show.
I hope so because it's really
But yeah, I don't know. Any other thoughts here, Matt, before we close up shop?
No, I'm good.
Anyways, friends, foes, and neithers, be good to each other, you know? Mm-hmm. Be kind, rewind. Go to Apple Podcasts. Give us a 5-star review. It'll really help us out. Let us know what you think of the show. That'll help us out too. We can, if you think we suck, we can help make it better, I don't know how, because I can't change who I am. I mean, maybe you want me to leave the show.
I mean, we can't, change too much to make improvements because then, it won't be, our show anymore.
Yes.
It would just be some other random show. So,
and we need to be unique, be ourselves, be different. Anyways, go do that. Check out our Patreon, subscribe to the show. That helps too. Share it with everybody. Just give us a share on Instagram, on the book of Face, and if you can somehow on the Tick of the Talk, and the on the Twits.
The twits, the grams, the social meds.
Yes. The twits, the grams, the talks. The, I don't know. The Friendsters. The, MySpace. Wait. The GeoCities. The, just call up your friends randomly on their phone and be like, hey, check out this podcast. Send it to them by carrier pigeon. That'd be cool too, you know?
I like that, and I like the GeoCities.
Yes.
We should make a GeoCities page just as like a joke. Like,
I don't know. Can you still do that?
Oh, I don't know. Actually, I'm not sure. I guess actually I think there is a a site out there or a template that actually allows you to make a site that looks like GeoCities. Like I don't like basically like I don't think there is GeoCities anymore, but you can actually just pick like a template for like WordPress or blog. I'm not sure which one.
I tell you what, so folks, if you want us to do that, you know, go to our Patreon, let us know, or buy a shirt on TeePublic and send us an email. Let us know, show us your receipt from buying it, and a screenshot of it, and maybe we'll do that. You can also request, like if you buy a shirt, here's a new thing. Okay, if you buy a shirt on TeePublic, you can actually. This is a thing I'm gonna say right now, and I think Matt, you might agree with this. We'll allow you to pick a topic for a future episode.
Yeah.
If you can prove that you bought a T-shirt. It's that simple, folks. Email me at mike@cullenpark.com with your information. And we will cover like whatever movie or TV show you want us to cover an episode of. You know?
But we cannot promise that we'll like the movie.
Exactly.
So...
But we will watch it. We will watch it.
Yeah.
I mean, and it could even be like an episode in the middle of a series that we've never watched. Which could be even more fun. If I had to watch, episode 13 of season 14 of Grey's Anatomy or something, I'll do it.
Yeah. It might not be what we normally pick, but...
Yeah, I'm just saying, that might be interesting, because I've only seen the first episode of Grey's Anatomy. I've never seen anything else. So, and like I've said before, I loved Grey's Anatomy the first time when it was called ER, and I loved ER the first time when it was called St. Elsewhere. So,
yeah,
there we go. So, folks, be kind, rewind.
Actually, I do have one thing to also say.
Yes.
Because it reminded me when I said you get what you get, it reminded me of a YouTube channel I watched, because that's what she said. So, that's literally, I'm not making like a Michael Scott joke. That's literally what she said. But is that there's this husband and wife named Vin and Sori.
Okay.
VIN. A-N, no space, so VINAND space SORI. They're a husband and wife. They basically just do what we do, but they review, they listen to songs, and they just talk about the songs. And I've been watching their stuff, and they have really interesting conversations. Like, they got one about institutionalized by suicidal tendencies. He talked about, how like he actually has been institutionalized a couple of times when he was a teenager. His mom was a mental health care worker, and so she saw the signs that he was depressed and having other kinds of issues. So she got him, the help that he needed, quickly, before it got too bad. And so just talked for like 45 minutes, after like a 3-minute song, and I watched another one they did about Fear Factory. I forgot the name of the song, but they did a video about Fear Factory, and had a really interesting conversation about that, because Fear Factory did a really ambitious 3-album concept album that stretched like 6 years in the making. It's pretty much all about just like technology getting a little too advanced, like especially when it comes to like law enforcement with like spying. Like back in 1995, they were talking about this, which
they got very topical today.
Because they're talking about just like not just cameras everywhere, but just being able to monitor people like all the time, like just every second of every day. Pretty much, like the album pretty much has like a character named Edge Crusher, who he's trying to stop all of this from getting completely out of control, but eventually the machines capture him and imprison him, and then that leads into the second album, and then he's trying to like break himself out of prison. Pretty much like they pretty much said that Terminator is what inspired the whole thing. But like anyway, if you want to check them out, I mean, they're not paying me to promote their channel or anything like that, but
that's pretty cool.
They are pretty cool. So yeah, if you like that kind of thing, you can check them out.
Yeah, and make sure you support the stuff you love, and don't.
Yeah.
I mean, I know we make fun of shows and stuff that we don't like, but it's better to go and support stuff you love. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And we are talking a lot about stuff we do like lately, and I mean, even the stuff that we don't like, we do in fun. We're not being.
We do like it in a weird way.
Yeah, we enjoy watching stuff like that. But yeah, it's a lot better to promote stuff you love than to talk about stuff you hate. So there's that. But yeah, like I said, check out all2real2.com for any other information about our show, and ways to share the show. You can just share that website. Just go anywhere and share that. Share the shows you love, on YouTube and on here. But yeah, just love each other, people. We need more of that in the world.
Yeah.
Seriously. That's all I have to say. Bye-bye.
Thanks for listening to All Too Real 2 podcast, a Cullen Park production. Produced and edited by Michael E. Cullen II. Music by Matthew Hawes. Subscribe and share the show. Visit us at cullenpark.com.